All right. So when I say values studies, what does that mean to you? Does that mean anything? Do you know what the definition of a value study is? What does that mean?
It has to do with the darkness of the paint.
Yes, or the lightness or darkness, right?
Well, I guess you would say the thickness of the paint on the canvas.
The darkness or lightness. That's what it has to do with, right?
Okay.
So and guys, interrupt me as you're, please do feel free to interrupt me as you're doing this. And actually, I'm going to do this because I can see the computer is a little bit confused. Today, I'm going to have you, these are the same. These are the same, top and the bottom. Oh, although let me draw these so you can see the edges here. Hold on. These are the same. One I copied in color. The book it appeared in color. The other I copied in black and white. Okay, so they're exactly the same. So value is the lightness or darkness of any color. And in painting, it's important because it's where we have strong contrast between values that we begin to define shapes. So all of these little landscapes are painted using the same shapes, but the painter switched the values around to emphasize different things. So can anybody see one where the sky is emphasized? Which one would you say is like the sky being emphasized? What do you know?
Top left-hand corner. Yeah. Right-hand corner.
Yep.
And then the bottom right-hand corner also. Well, not so much, no.
Maybe
I think well.
Yeah, these three are all very sky heavy, right? They're emphasizing the sky. That means there's more like shifts in values happening in the sky, right? And this is like a one that this is like, so if you were to label values by like, here, I'm going to do it on this one because I don't think we're going to use this. I'm probably going to have you use this. So say 3 is dark, 1 is light, 2 is medium, right? So you've got a simple dark shape here, and then transitions between medium and light happening in the sky. So this simplicity here kind of pushes the attention of this shape. And it's the same here, right? This would be a 2, 1, 3. Can you see that? Well, it's hard to see that. Wait, yes, 2, 1, and 3. This is 1, 2. There's even a 3. It's like a 2.5. There is no 2.5, 3. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3. You recognize this one? 1, 2. Let's see, 2, 1, 3. This is like 1, 1. Okay, 2, 2, and 3. Or maybe 2.5 even, 2.5 to 3. So you see how shifting the value kind of changes the emphasis on the painting?
Yeah.
But it's all kind of the same thing. So I'm going to have you guys paint each of these. You're going to make a set of thumbnails that look like this. So take a pencil and you're just going to draw. Oh, I have a pencil would be nice if I had a pencil with a point on it. There we go. So on a piece of watercolor paper, not very big, right? About this size, you're going to, sorry, you can't see all of these. I'll sketch them in really quick. You're gonna sketch in these 9 simple little boxes. And I want you, sorry,
What happened?
nothing, just, I was moving my camera and it's okay, don't panic. All right, there we go. Give yourself 9 boxes. And I want you, and I'll send this across the thread really close so you can get a close look at them. Each one of them. Notice this one, know that when you're working in watercolor, you really need to outline your white shapes because you cannot paint the white, right? You have to leave the white without paint. So I'm kind of checking those, I'm sort of checking, but they're still fairly simple shapes. Here's a tricky one because the white, like there's a white line, right? That kind of goes around here. And you can do this. There's white in here. So if you want to, I will, you had a little bit of practice starting to do it, right? Here, we did it last week. And these aren't very big. Oops. There we go. So just give yourself, this is all on watercolor paper. So I have testing paper here. That's just a plain piece of scratch paper so I can check my colors before I paint them. I have a pencil. Oh, it looks a little bit going on over here. It's a little bit, there's a light kind of glaring here. I'm not sure I can address that. Can I address that? I don't think it's the worst thing happening. And then you're going to start by, right? I'll start with this one in the middle since we can see it really easily, right? You're going to start by sketching. Oh, that's a little too high up. And pencil the outline of the shapes you're going to paint. And if you want to, you can use that. You can do it in blue. Right? And just know that when you're painting in white, you've got to leave the white sort of untouched. So you'll start with a painting, a sketch like that. And if I'm going to work in blue, I've got my, I'm demonstrating this, so don't worry, you can just watch me for a second, or you can jump in and do it if you think you know what you're going to do. I think this exercise is going to be really relaxing. Is that the word to use? I think it's going to be very meditative after a while.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take one and you're going to make it bigger. So let's see, I'm going to put this, let's see, I'm going to put this here for the moment. If you remember from last week. Oh, yes, and I want my blankie. Hang on, I need to get myself a paper towel. So I'm going to clean off I'm taking a little bit of water on my paper towel and I'm going to clean this off. Right. My palette is clean. And I like this idea of using blue. So you can use a blue. I'm going to take a little bit of blue. My suggestion, and if you remember, we practiced last week this idea of you know, how dark or light do you make things, right? You add way more water to make something darker. So my suggestion is to go into the darkest areas kind of with a watery wash. that you'll layer darker. So
Can you
this,
send us the image, Leah?
it's right there.
No, can you send it on WhatsApp?
It is on WhatsApp already,
Oh, it is.
but yeah, but just watch me
I'm
for a
not seeing, oh, you know what?
Just
yes,
just watch
that's
for,
okay. Sorry.
yep, that's okay. So you see, I'm doing kind of the medium and the dark together. If I feel like, oh, I got some paint in areas I didn't want, I can kind of pull it up. If I feel like I went too dark here, I can take my paper towel and pull off a little bit by tapping there. And then once it dries, which should take just about a minute, I'm going to gradually layer my darker colors on. But I want to wait till it dries. It's going to take a second. You can use more than one blue if you like. If you see a blue that you think really works. Okay. See how I can go darker? So I want you to try using less water this time, more paint. To repeat these little landscapes. They're done really small. Is the assignment kind of clear?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We're just going to do that for a little while. And what this will do is get you kind of used to your brush. It's going to get you used to thinking about values. Do you guys want to see this better? Do you want me to take closer up pictures and send them over?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, okay. Paul, you need to see.
No, I got it. Thanks.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Do you want to see the black and white?
Yes.
Helpful to you. Yeah, it might help with value things, right? Values. There we go. And as you're going along, and then we'll review them. I want to see like how you're kind of working. You'll remember that we talked about soft and hard edges, right? So what are those? How do those appear? There's a couple of edges, I feel like, in this darkest area, for example. Where it helps me to have a brush, right? And and if you're struggling a little bit with this one, like I am right now, I'm struggling a little bit with it. At the end, I'm going to show you a little trick you can use to kind of pull your whites back. I'm going to do this along with you. So, yeah. The writer, the person who wrote this book calls this the two to one theory, which is basically that the area you want to draw attention to has more than one value in it, and the area that you want to push away from has only one value, right? It has two values in it, and the area that's simpler, that's less like noticeable, has one. And it's different from the two that you're playing with. The one with two values in it. At the time, this totally made sense to me. a lot of other things are at play here, of course. Because you're gonna be practicing your hard and soft edges, which you're kind of new at, but I think you might. I think it's a good like beginning practice. And if you make mistakes, that's totally okay too, because that's part of what this process is teaching us. We're start warming up really with things that don't, where the end result isn't so important. I don't know if you guys worry about this at all, but I think a lot of people get stressed out by art because they want their end product to be perfect. But these are a little bit less, stress bally. Like if you don't get it right, it's just a 2 by 2 inch thing. You can try it and get it. Having this problem of the paint drip down to the base because I'm at an angle here. And also notice I'm trying to work wet on wet, and that just is not working. If I want a darker area and a lighter area, I've really got to wait until that dries to be able to get that to happen. I can do maybe these little light. There we go. So I might move from this one over to this one, right? Wait for this to dry, then go back. You might try that. That seems to be a pretty good strategy.
What blue are you using again? I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter.
Phthalo.
Yeah. Use what you want. If it's not giving you kind of what you want.
No, I think phthalo is great. I kind of want to mix in some white with it too, though.
Don't.
Okay.
Without water. There's no white there really. These are all washes that are conveyed with water. There's no white. In watercolor, the only white is the white that you leave, is the paper. Well, we do use white, but in a very specific way. Interesting. A little bit more of that. I went a little dark here, so I'm actually bringing water from my brush onto the paper. Little bead. Notice I can kind of drag the little, if you have a little bead like that, you can kind of drag it around. Kind of spread that dark everywhere. you know, that you drag it with your brush. Can you see that? I'm almost kind of
Hmm.
controlling it. Later, we're going to talk about washes where you wash like entire, you know, that bead is kind of important. Anyway, you can see, you can kind of work with that a little bit. Here, I feel like I lost a little bit of my white. So if I scrub it out too much, that doesn't really work. I can get some of it kind of back. But it kind of pulls the paper up, kind of wears out the paper. So it's not really a good technique. Maybe you want to work flat, so you don't have to deal with what I'm doing. Maybe I want to work flat, actually. This dust totally goes flat. Think about that. I'm going to see something. I think something happens when this desk goes flat. I think the camera, that's different, but I'm going to try and do it anyway. Don't mind me. Okay. Here's my question. What happens when I go? What do you guys see now? Oh, hey, look at that. Did you notice any observable difference at all?
No,
No, not really.
I don't have to. No. There you go. I do have to stand, but. Oh, look, and now I can put my water here so you can see that. Oh, that's kind of neat. Okay, cool. All right, well, that problem solved. How was everybody's weekend and week so far?
Hmm,
fine.
it was okay, yeah.
When did you publish yesterday, Jonathan?
Uh, we sent it to the publisher by noon today, but I worked all day yesterday to get it ready to send today. So
Yeah.
all the last proofreading is done this morning.
Sounds exhausting.
It is mainly because I do it all by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no other editors to help you?
No, there's one editor, and there's the editor-in-chief who does the last proofread, but I'm the only art director.
So you're visually the only person who, oh, that sounds like a hassle.
Yeah, pre-pandemic, we had 3 people, and now it's just me.
Wow.
Yeah. I sent in a query this week on Friday night. I sent my query in. Haven't heard back from them.
About
Probably
what?
have to. They probably expect me to call them, I think.
What's it about, Paul?
Huh?
What was it about?
It was about AB5 and about like zero emissions and AB5.
You sent this to the Jewish Journal?
No, not to the Jewish Journal.
Okay, so what are you talking about, honey?
I'm just saying I submitted something too.
Okay,
I would say I did something too.
I want to know who, wait, okay, you did.
I was busy. Oh, you want to do who?
Well, yeah,
It's this brand new, it's you know, it's one of those startup magazines.
why
Because you know,
don't
I do a podcast
you
too.
give us the name, dude?
You want the name?
I really don't like vagaries.
Well, the name of the magazine,
I don't like-
the Flair Bear's name is Global Trade.
Okay. Don't know anything about it, though.
Well, yeah, it's like
As you're going through and doing this, know which ones are trickier and which ones feel harder to do, which ones are easier. By the way, if it makes you feel better, I'm not exactly finding this easy myself, so I'm more it's like I said, it's really like well, we'll spend a lot of our time doing it, but still, it's like kind of this practice, kind of getting to know your watercolor brush, what it can do. I promise, as I said, to show you a little trick afterwards. So then this is like your kind of day to relax a little bit, eh, Jonathan?
Yeah, after about 2 o'clock, when things are settled, then my life is a little bit better on Tuesdays. I'm tired though, but I'm it's like they leave me alone for the most part.
Do you work in an office?
No, we gave up the office.
So it's all done. Oh, I can understand. Even more now. Oh. This is kind of fun, huh, guys?
Yeah.
Strangely instructive in a weird way. And it's interesting to see how these shifts in value change the dynamic. How these shifts in value change the way this similar construction looks.
yeah, this one's definitely a dynamo.
What do you mean?
It pops. It's like, well, I don't say it pops. I say it goes like it
Well, there's 9 different
Yeah.
ones.
it's a shift. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the shifts change depending on where you put the darks and the lights. So dark and light is really important. If you don't have that, and where you put it kind of depends on what happens. Where the emphasis kind of lies. I'm finding that like the little white, even these tiny little white triangles at the base of the tree on this one right now, it makes a difference. You kind of need them in. Is it raining still where you guys are?
No,
No, finally stops.
yeah.
Raining up here now.
It's actually been really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we're actually getting winter, you know, we don't usually get winter in LA last few years. This year we've got more than we can take, but I'll take it, you know.
yeah.
I can, it's something I can, you know, I'll accept it.
Justify. Yeah.
Yeah.
Noticing is up here to add in this two sky. That I still need it to be a little bit darker for my lights to pop, right?
Yeah, that's kind of a gray sky, isn't it?
Oops.
Okay, who's in charge? Oh, man. How do you like the class so far?
Oh, it's great. It's very challenging. It's so hard.
Yeah, there's another lady that sits in, Diana. She's like the press club. She's like you know who she is, right? Diana.
No.
Okay, she's the president of the press club. She's usually here. She'll do other stuff, but she's like here, and she's like, yeah. But yeah, Leia is great. She's like gung ho, you know. She's a good teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great doing all these
Yeah, yeah,
exercises.
yeah. The exercises are great, man. Yeah.
It's crazy. Sorry, guys. I sometimes get knocked off because my computer isn't fantastic. Here, do we? You. Here, hold on. I'll get I know you have it on your screen, but let me. Oh, don't be. I understand that. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Let me pop this back up so you can see it again.
Great.
Sorry about that. I was also noticing that I could go back in here with a little bit of water to define the sort of dark and light here a little bit more. So I could do that. That seemed to work a little bit. I'm not very happy with this. I might do this one over again. Spot, another one. Did I freeze again?
No.
Sorry, guys. Can you see? Okay, great. All right, here, I'm gonna get my plug.
Hey, Jonathan, do you do like album art?
No,
No. Have you ever done something like that? Like design like an album?
no.
No, okay. You know why I'm asking you, right?
No.
Huh?
No. Why?
Okay. I get this sense that you're like that you are a that I get this feeling like you could be like work for K-Rock type of person, you know, or work for like or work for Rhino Records.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, that's a nice thing to say, I
Yes,
guess.
it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You got a little bit of a rock star thing going on for sure.
Not well, I wouldn't say more like a behind the scenes. Like he's the type of guy that would be in the documentaries after the rock star passed away. You're like, yeah, he was really more like in that category.
I interviewed Debbie Gibson recently.
Cool.
It's close to a rock star as
Well, she's more famous than most rock stars, that's for sure. She's like one of the she was huge in the 80s. I mean,
yeah.
it was like her, Michael Jackson, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's the company she was in, you know.
Jeez. This is the absolute worst. I've never seen it do this. I'm so sorry. So that's why we have WhatsApp. You have the pictures on the thread if you need them. Sorry about that, you guys. That's a pain. That's like-
What's the problem?
oh, you didn't even notice?
No.
Oh, my internet went down again. I thought my
Oh.
picture would go. I thought this would go along with. Did you notice this go away or did this
No.
stay? I keep getting knocked off and coming back on, but maybe what it just means is that this freezes. So, which is fine, right? Because you're just looking at like
Yeah, exactly.
matter. Cool. That's good. It's kind of interesting to see what you can do in this little tiny coverage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Little area. Like, what can we do? What can't we do? Right. But also, like, what kind of weirdly works? I think you're going to find as you continue going through this that you're going to have a composition that you like the most. So as we go through, let's finish it. We're going to finish them.
Honestly, I haven't really, worked with clouds much,
Yeah.
but
It's been a while.
no, I never really, and it was not really too serious.
Yeah.
So it's never been that serious. So
So it's
yeah.
kind of, are you struggling with it or are you?
No, I'm not struggling, but I'm just saying it's,
Yeah, you haven't done, no, and it's not a problem if you are, that would be totally valid. I was just asking if you were like, if you were finding, oh, good, it means I can
I
push it
mean,
this way. There we go. If you needed help, I could help. Or if you observe something about it, yeah, it is fun to do clouds. Is that what you were thinking?
I've had difficulty with them.
How about now?
I'm getting the hang of it.
I think
I have to practice, because the pushing in, it's a really subtle push in, I think.
Yes, very good observation. I think watercolor would be a good medium for you, Paul, ultimately. And one of the things that I think is so compelling about watercolor is also what makes it so challenging. And that is that one watercolor stroke really conveys a lot, right? So it takes very little. So if I do that, there's a lot happening, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, I think.
Texture, I could just move like this. So you can convey a lot with one stroke. And so the question is, do I get how do I get my strokes right? Is really the key. And that's the thing that I think watercolor, I think why people love it, it's a very expressive medium. But it's also a really tricky medium to control. So part of this, but if you hit it right, as you were saying, Paul, you kind of,
Yeah.
it's a little push. It's just a little
Yeah,
push.
just like,
It's a good observation. Very good observation about it. It's so light, it's so airy. So a little push here. Don't want to push too much, because pushing. Yeah, I think in some ways watercolors can really convey clouds. So really our eye goes to value and contrast are very important. Our eye kind of goes to the areas in a painting where one value meets another, where a light meets a dark, where dark meets a light. Where there are value shifts. Yeah, I mean, the meaning of this exercise, as I said, is he calls it the 1 and 2, which means that, as I said, 2 values represent the busiest, the area, the sort of area of interest you want to draw people to. And 1 value, which is different from the other 2 values, is used to sort of push back, right? So in these 3, these are all simplified. You can use dark, medium, or light to be that value at the front, but you're changing, it still will push our attention here, which you guys all noticed, right? And it's the same here. Now we've got, you can have a dark sky, a medium sky, or a light sky. And the tree, really the most, it doesn't really matter, it's still just a single value. The center here is where the most interest is. And in this last one, it's the front. Oh, and by the way, it's a good rule of thumb to think about. As you go up like this, a piece of paper, you go back. Going up is the same as going back. So the sky is the farthest away. This is what we would call the middle ground. This is the foreground, right?
Right.
Move up or down. We move to the front to the back. So these are each 3 examples of how we, okay, so here the sky, the sky, the farthest away plane, the highest up is the point of interest. Here the mid area is the point of interest. And here the front. Here the foreground is the front point of interest. Using all the different values, it's like kind of fascinating. Yeah, that's starting to look kind of pretty, Paul.
Thanks.
Here's a little trick. If you would like to darken your darkest blue, you are allowed to mix in a little bit of burnt sienna.
Well, yeah, probably. I already started with, I'll do that for the next one. I started for this one.
I'm not
So,
telling you personally.
On
I'm
the
just
following, yeah.
general rule. It's a definite thing. If you want to get your blue a little bit darker and less like bluer,
Yeah, I'd like to a bit.
then
So I'll put in burnt sienna, huh?
Then you need to add. Then one needs to add a little bit of burnt sienna to the darks. So these darks in here, the really dark ones, I actually added a little bit of burnt sienna in there.
Oh, okay.
From our mixing last week. Okay, this is gonna be fun. Let's see if we can do this. So if you want to, yeah, just get one stage darker. Or you can do that Yeah, it's all done with like, it's very interesting concept. I'm actually finding the need to kind of really highlight that light ridge. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to pull it off. I might even go to a smaller brush. Oh, no, we'll see. So honestly, you guys, I'm not super wedded to the idea. If we want to, we can go on. We will eventually go on to do a bigger one, but we don't have to do it this time if you're having fun.
It may take the entire time just to do these.
This is my point, right? I know, I'm finding it really interesting. I feel like one's learning quite a lot from it. So let's not rush this process. In fact, I'm going to pull this, remove the spotlight for a second. It's been about an hour. So let us get up, take a stretch, and I'm going to go get some more tea. I don't know about you.
Me too.
Okay.
Just want to make sure you're not like, I know it's really compelling, isn't it? Like you can kind of sit and stare at them forever.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn off the recording just for a minute.